Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be catching up on a few sneaky sneaker news stories that have cropped up over the past few days, starting off with this one right here. So we've had some new detailed looks at the New Balance 442 with Jack Harlow, and you can hardly blame him or New Balance for bringing this shoe out because we are currently in the midst of the boots only summer soccer shoe trend, which I know is a little bit crazy. I know you're not probably into it, I'm not really into it, but it's the wave, it's what the kids are into now, and these are pretty clean, man. I do like the colorway. Predominantly wide upper, New Balance detailing on the back. It is a very clean shoe. So these are supposed to be coming out very soon from what I have gathered, and I think these are gonna be hella popular, man. The Panda Dunk is coming back again, and no, not in retro form, in somewhat more creative form, I wanna say. These are pretty dope. And I mean, yeah, you'll have to just kind of disabuse yourself of the panda hate for a moment, as well as the dunk fatigue, in order to vibe with these. I think these are nice, man. So it's a predominantly black and white dunk low, as you'd expect, and then you've got a little bit of brown on the midsole. I'm not sure if that's maybe inspired by the bamboo or something like that. You've got some yellow laces as well. You've also got some panda accessory, hang tag type thing, as well as a panda featuring on the back of the tongue and on the heel tab. So even though the Panda Dunk hype has long since subsided and not been a thing for some time now, these are pretty cool, man. Hiroshi Fujiwara has been seen flexing the 1985 cut UNC Air Jordan 1 High. And according to the rumors, these aren't coming out imminently. You're like me, as soon as you saw this post, you were thinking, oh my gosh, we've only just had the Reimagines drop. Those things are sitting. The appetite for Jordan 1 Highs is probably at its lowest since like pre-2015 Chicago. And here we have another UNC Jordan 1 High colorway coming out just like that. So apparently that's not the case. They've just seeded Fujiwara the 85 cuts, which I'm assuming are gonna be pretty much like the breads we had this February. And we have heard rumors about a Chicago 85 cut coming out soon. So yeah, I definitely don't need to be as bothered about seeing these as I was initially, because they're not set to drop anytime soon. But yeah, it's a beautiful shoe, it's a beautiful colorway, and would I rather have these than the Reimagines? Hell yeah. So we've had probably our best look yet at the imminent Air Max 90 Patta collab that's supposed to be dropping this June. And man, these are looking pretty gas, man. We've got two colorways of the Air Max 90, a sort of Vault green colorway and then a sport blue colorway. Not sure if those adjectives are appropriate, but we can get a really good look at the shoes in hand here. So what I'm looking at is a slightly more elevated approach in the silver mesh around the ankle collar and on the toe box. You've also got some silver swoosh action, and then the Air Max branding is sort of blended in. I don't know if that's like lenticular style with the Patta logo on the side window there underneath the swoosh. Also got the Patta branding on the insole, and these also look pretty sweet on feet as well. So no specific release date information to hand at the minute, but yeah, I'm liking the look of these. Which colorway do I prefer over the blue or the green? I'll probably take the green, to be honest. What are you guys thinking about these Patta Air Max 90s? Feel free to let me know. Some Salomon news. Don't really speak enough about Salomon, even though I am a big fan of Salomon, but we have a collaboration to talk about between Salomon and the reggaeton megastar feid. Sorry about that pronunciation. He's busted out his latest project on stage recently at the New York City's Governor's Ball Music Festival. Looks like an XT6, but it's actually an XT Pathway, which is a more budget-friendly version of the XT6. And one thing about Salomon that I do respect is they've been doing their thing over the past few years, devoid of any massive collabs. Like, they haven't had to tap up anyone with massive clouts online to help them sell their stuff. So yeah, in a bit of a change of pace, I feel like this could definitely add a little bit of flavor to the brand. And the colorway, it's bright, it's bold, it's loud. I like these. What are you guys thinking about these? Let me know. We've heard some rumors that there's going to be another colorway of the Nike SB Air Max 95 expected in the spring of next year, and it's going to be in a cacao wow colorway. So it says black cacao, anthracite, light graphite, light charcoal, and pearl gray. And so the magicians out there have knocked up these mock-ups, which have these looking sweet as. Once we get some fresh info on these, or once we get some proper pics on these, I will definitely let you guys know. Right, so we are just a couple of days away from the release of the ASICS collaboration with jjjound on the Kayano 14. And if you guys remember back to the first time these guys worked together on the Kayano 14, it could arguably be partially credited with sparking the ASICS mesh runner trend hype wave, because those pairs were reselling initially for some crazy money. Not so much like the flat white pair, but the silver metallic pair. Those things were going crazy. In fact, they still are. And so we have two colorways to consider. There's an ice blue colorway, and then there's a cream colorway that has some yellow accenting on the outsole. Now, even though the ASICS mesh runner trend, especially the Kayano 14, has kind of fizzled out a little bit in more recent times, these are still going to be popular. Are they going to be as popular as the first time we saw them? No, I feel like these will probably resell for like a little bit over the retail, but these are still going to be very popular. As much as people, myself included, dog on jjjound and give him a lot of crap for his lack of creativity, bro, they're still clean at the end of the day. Still a nice model, still a shoe worth wearing, and it's one of those if you know type sneakers. You know, that subtle jjjound branding is enough to be recognizable by those that know what's going on. Now, for the release information as it relates to your local area, go ahead and just check out jjjound's update on his own IG. They're dropping on the jjjound website on Thursday, and then I think they're dropping on asics.com on Saturday. So there's a couple of other sneakers worth considering dropping this week. The first is the Jordan 14 Ferrari. The store here, Oneness, went the extra mile and got a Ferrari to have a photo shoot with the sneakers with, and yeah, bro, you can't deny these pictures definitely do go hard, and these shoes go hard as well. Now, if you're like me, you remember the last time the Ferrari 14s came out, they were hype. Yeah, they were a little bit hype. There was definitely some interest in them, less so on the yellow pair that came out after them. I feel like the hype is in a place right now where people are definitely going to be going after these 14s. I feel like there's more interest in these Ferrari 14s than, say, for example, the white cement 4s that recently came out. I know that's a crazy thing to say in the context of, you know, like Jordan hierarchy, but it is what it is, man. I feel like people are a little bit tired of the lower numbered retros. They're keen on these types of retros, so I can actually see these selling out and being really popular, maybe even reselling for a little bit of money over the retail. Now, on June the 12th, you've got the New Balance Absorb 2000s, and I'm not sure whether or not people are getting excited about this shoe because it's a brand new model from New Balance, or it's just a really quiet week or slash month in general for sneakers where there's not a whole heap of other stuff out there to get excited about. These things are just sort of lapping up the hype in lieu. I think they're pretty cool looking. I think it's a clean looking shoe with some interesting technology about them. I'd be interested in trying them out, but they are 170 pounds, which is like pretty close to 200 bucks. So they are up there. I've had some fresh looks at the Jordan 3 Pure Moneys, which are set to drop July the 5th. So not really that long to go at all. And these things are coming out in full family sizing, both adults, GS, PS, and TD sizes. And look, this is one of those classic Air Jordan 3 retros that a lot of people have been holding out for, but a little bit like a lot of the other popular retros that have been coming out in recent times, I feel like these things are going to sit. I mean, we've had so many Jordan 3s in recent times. Why do you need another pair of white Air Jordan 3s when you've got 4 or 5 pairs of white Air Jordan 3s you haven't worn in years? Seems a little bit silly to me. Although, will that stop me from buying these? Yeah, I don't know, remains to be seen. I have seen a few people complain about the elephant print on the laces, but if you guys remember back to 2007 when these last came out, they came out with the elephant print on the laces, both the white pair and the black pair. And then last up, you've got the Air Max DN8 Better Gift Shops collaboration that's dropping on June the 13th. Now, I don't know if we need to have a serious discussion about the Air Max DN8 because I kind of feel like it's one of those shoes from Nike this year that really hasn't lived up to the hype. Initially, when these dropped on Air Max Day, there was a little bit of interest in them. It's a new model with the whole retro feel about them, but whether it's the price points or whether it's just the general aesthetic, I think it's pretty safe to say this shoe has desperately underperformed from Nike. Whether or not they needed Travis's inputs or a reverse swoosh or something to get these off the ground initially, I don't know. But even these collab versions of the DN8s do not make me want to cop a pair for a second. What do you guys think? Is the DN8 a massive flop for Nike this year, or is it just understood. And that is it for today's episode, guys. Just a quick little catch up on some of the major news stories that have been developing over the past few days. Do me a favor and like the video before you bounce, and do me another favor and go and subscribe to my golf channel, where I am bearing down on 1,000 subscribers. If you want to support me in my content creation, I would appreciate it if you guys did that. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.